Okay, for today's class, we're going to start laying down on our backs. So just come down, maybe have a blanket and a block. We might be needing those for the class. So I'm going to lay down and just recommend that your knees are bent and you have your feet a comfortable distance away from each other and a comfortable distance away from your sitting bones. Palms face up, or maybe the hands are on the abdomen. Noticing the sensation of breathing. Noticing the imprint the body is making into the ground. And let's focus on noticing with a kindness. And when we can imagine that we can notice with kindness, I get the feeling that when kindness infuses the experience or the vision, it's not that you change anything, it's just that it allows you to be more of a clear witness, and it allows you to be in the moment and time because there isn't a story. So when we view it with kindness, we don't have a fear or contrast from the past or a fear of the future so much as witnessing things that feel easy or things that feel hard. And it's not neutral like pablum. It's a different kind of sensation. So just see if we can find that concept of witnessing what is. And then let's start to move with the breath. So we're going to allow a movement of the pelvis as we inhale and as we exhale. So we're going to start this, that as we inhale, we're going to create a back bend so that there's some space under my lumbar spine and it feels like my tip of my tail or my sitting bones have moved towards the ground, hip bones have lifted. And then as we exhale, just through the sensation of the bone of the sacrum and then through to the lumbar spine, we're going to exhale. And you'll just notice that, your head will move. And so for me, example, my chin will go up because there's this S spine that's kind of rocking. So the inhale will be this slow motion back bend just of the lumbar, the bum's on the ground. And the exhale, there's this downward smush where you experience every point of the bones until you come up and the head, it ripples all the way up to the head. So it's like this movement through the spine, and we'll just see if we can allow the shoulders to really, really relax through this. If it's hard to move the spine so sort of systematically and with integrity, paying attention, it's hard to do that without the feet. Use the feet. Use the feet as kind of a leaner and a releaser of that rocking slow motion. Okay, let's just begin. So let's just start. Hands at the belly or at the sides. Let's inhale. Exhale. Slowly move down through the spine to the lumbar. The chin kind of lifts. Just at your own pace. I want you to feel like you have the sense of being your own voice in your own head and body. So it's slow, it's even sense of inhales to exhales, and then just make that be yours for a few minutes. Really becoming so in tune with each of the bones and the space between. Feeling the sense of breath and movement and how that can expand and kind of contract the bones of the body. And then the next time you do your exhale and the lumbar comes down, let's just find a neutral and just breathe. Whatever the breath pattern is, just follow along with the kindness of the mind to breathing and body sensations. Now let's move this into the opposite flow. So now when we inhale, the lower back will be down, and the exhale, the lumbar will be lifted, and there's that little curve. And so we'll find the same thing where it's a nice even breath of inhale ratio to exhale, as much as you can make that. So let's just start by inhaling, the lumbar goes down, ripple all the way up. The exhale, unfurling, and then the lumbar lifts. The tail faces more towards the ground, the sitting bones more towards the ground, hip bones up. So just follow that again. Inhales, the down. Your own pace. Relax the shoulders and let the head and the jaw become very relaxed. So they just go for the ride. So allow that to happen. Don't create any junctures along the way that impede the full rippling. And then the next inhale when the lumbar goes down. And then just exhale and come into a neutral, and just again notice, come to your own cadence of inhales and exhales and pausings. Let's walk the feet about as wide as the edge of the mat, feeling the edge of the mat under the sort of center line of the feet. Feel a bit of a standing quality in the feet. Lean the lumbar down, but tuck the chin in and allow the ribs to come in, but they're not tight or tense. But there is a slight gathering in towards the low belly so that we're maintaining the length of the lower back. And let's just, with the standing quality of the feet, take the knees very, very slowly over to the right. So we're noticing the legs moving, and then there's a spot where it's just going to have to stop. And we're not sure why they have to stop. Maybe there's a pain, maybe there's a tugging, but we're going to have to stop here, and we just pause and see what you can hold and support and kind of relax at the same time. And then coming back up easily. So this is like an effortless move. We're really allowing for the least amount of gristle tension and the deepest amount of curiosity. Now standing on the feet, lumbar down, chin just slightly tucked. Again, the ribs are coming in, but with a softness on the belly, so there's not a grabbing. The knees are going to very slowly start to move over to the left. You're feeling yourself coming onto the edges of the feet as this happens. And there's an easy length of the lumbar spine, and then there's a stopping, and we don't know why. But we come to a stop. We're not trying to get anywhere, so we stay curious with the stop. Come back up, and then just relax completely and just have a moment of breathing. And then let's just set up to go to the right, again with the same slowness, feeling the length of the low back. Slowly the knees go to the right. A little bit of a standing quality of the feet, but they're not super tense. And we'll just see, where do the knees go? Is there a natural stopping place where the shoulders still stay on the ground? Stay there and just see if you can kind of relax at their natural stopping place, which might feel like a contrast in directives. See what you can do with that. Come back up to the center, pause. Feel some ease and sweetness in the belly. Setting yourself up to go to the left, mindfully lengthening, drawing in with the ribs, chin just slightly tucked in, and you're just going to go to where you can go on the left. Just feel where a natural stop might be. Pause and kind of relax there, but you're still contained. And then come back up and just pause in the center, and let's just have a moment of breathing. You might want to lift up and come back down. We've been down on the back of our pelvis for a while. Sometimes I can feel dry. So let's just see that we're hydrating and then just come to stillness. Okay, let's just take ourselves setting up. Length of the low back, chin slightly tucked, ribs slightly engaged down to the soft, sweet belly. Knees very slowly going over to the right. And then we just see where we go with the left shoulder still coming back to the ground. And now my stop, for me, my right knee is actually on the ground. This left knee, of course, hovers to some degree. I have the ribs in. I have space for breathing. And then relax where you are. Engage around the sitting bones and suction them up and in, and use that to lift the knees. Pause in the center. And then find the setup, taking the knees very slowly to the left, and just notice as you go through, you're not bypassing any area because there's nowhere we have to go. But it does turn out that on this third pass, my left knee goes to the ground and my right knee is just hovering. And once I find that position, I check to see how much I can relax in my body and just let myself settle here. Bit of a suctioning up through the sitting bones to come up, just soft but deliberate. Come into the center. And now bring the knees up in towards the chest. Just rock a couple times from side to side. With your hands holding onto the knees, let's just draw some circles. So keep the knees together and just take the knees over to one side, and they're just going to go around in easy circles. Let the head undulate and be easy and free while you move the knees. Keeping the knees basically snapped together so that there's not a lot of lift and lower from one side to the other of the back of the pelvis. We're keeping it fairly still. And switch directions when you're ready. And back into the center. So just hold on to around the the shins or maybe the backs of the thighs, whatever suits for this, whatever is your inness of the knees to the chest, and just pause here. And let's just relax here. So you're holding the legs, you're not pulling the legs, you're just sort of supporting them where they can relax. So that might be quite far out. We don't know. We don't know what your inness is of the legs to the chest. Just see how much you can relax at the back of the pelvis and the back of the lumbar. Take your hands off for a moment, just lengthen and bring your chin up towards your chest. Feel a bit of a tug at the back of the head, a little bit of a tug at like the back of the neck. And then just slowly lower it down and feel it going through the center, and then just arch it so that the chin goes up. Chin tucks in and then relax it. Stay here and pause. Let the knees move out to the side, so they're coming out towards the armpits to some degree. And then we're going to reach up and hold on to, maybe it's the inner ankles or maybe it's the shins, whatever you can make contact with. And we're going to relax. So it's going to be a heavy kind of draped feeling of the arms, but the arms aren't holding the legs too deeply. So if you have a sensation, you might want to back off and not find weight, but maybe just literally support at the sides of the legs to be here. And don't overthink where the pelvis is. So if the tail lifts up or if the tail's down, just let it be where it's going to be. And just stay here and breathe a couple more breaths. So you're finding this fine point of relaxed alignment. So let's just see if we can feel that. And then support the knees to come back in towards the center. Let's just hold on to the right knee. And it's just, again, it's that nice draping of the arms over the shin or the knee or the back of the thigh. And let's just see very slowly as we glide this left leg out away from us. It's going to hover and go straight across the floor. What are the muscles that are required for this? What are the muscles that you need to employ? And what muscles can stay kind of relaxed? And can we keep a little bit of a bend in the leg, but this leg is very sensitive, like it has full sensation as it is in space? We keep the lumbar down to the ground and we still have room for breath. And then just come back in very slowly and pause with both knees in. Holding on to the left knee or shin. And start to feel this right leg moving away, and it's going to go parallel to the ground. And you'll just need to be very deep with your little spelunking lamp on to notice what are the muscles that are required to do this as you semi-straighten this leg. Keep sensitive through the toes, through the foot, through the ankle, through the knee. So some of the muscles are very strong, and some of them are just supporting, and some of them are not engaged. Being curious, coming back up. I could suggest which muscles to fire, but I want you to just have this experience of really wondering in there. You know, your eyes are really deeply into the joints. Let's do this again, holding the right knee. Slowly, the chin stabilized a little bit in. Feel sensitive through both sets of toes, so we're not dull through the legs. We're alert. Noticing what are the muscles that need to engage to have that leg hover above the ground. How do we keep the lumbar down? coming back up and in. Pause. And then the other side. Sometimes I'm very detailed, or I'm suggesting that we can be very detailed with the muscles that we fire in a, have it a readiness for firing or a start place of where we're going to fire. And this is just a different practice that we're playing with today. And then just come back in. Okay, let's just take the both of the feet down to the ground. Have a moment of pausing, feeling the sensations in the body and the ground. Bring your hands behind the base of the skull. Bring the armpits a little bit forward and up so that the elbows are parallel with each other, or the arms are side by side. They're not out to the side. And let's just start to feel the movement specifically from the sitting bones going up into the body, into the lumbar. And gradually that's going to lift the head, and it's going to come up and it's just going to curve nice and softly up towards the knees. But it's not a crunch. It's like a curl up from some muscles that are just the right amount. The right amount of usage, and just keep the containment as you slowly lower down and relax completely, letting the elbows fall out to the side, and let a natural curve happen back into the lumbar spine. And then let's start to build the sitting bone connection, coming up and into the torso, low belly, lumbar comes down, let it talk all the way up the spine, bring the elbows parallel, and then it's through some deep regions that the head is just easy to lift. So we're not bringing it up so much with the arms, but we do bring the armpits a bit forward and up to widen through the back body so that the shoulder girdle has some width and containment at the same time. Keep the containment as you slowly lower down one vertebra at a time, releasing the head, the arms, the back, the breathing. Relaxing as much as you can in this position. Let's do this one more time. Start to feel it at the sitting bones. Feel it as this pressure that comes into the pelvis. The lumbar goes down. It talks through each of the vertebrae until it gradually just lifts the head. Bring the elbows parallel and start to really feel the armpits move forward and kind of up towards the crown of the head, finding width at the back body. And you've got room for breath because it's not so much, these muscles are contained, or you have some contraction here, but you're not gripping the front. Sometimes people talk about gripping the belly in towards the spine, and what happens is that there's really not a lot of room for breathing. So we want to have this happen from some sort of deeper muscles so that we still have room to move the diaphragm, and then we can still talk and be easy. Okay, slowly come down one vertebra at a time, head down, and let the elbows go to the side and relax the low back. Move the soles of the feet, or the sides of the feet, closer together. And now this time we're going to do a few different moves when we come up and down. So let's just start it with a little bit more of an exaggerated back bend of the lumbar spine. Inhale, Exhale, smoosh the lumbar down. And as you smoosh the lumbar down, let the feet go out to the side. Pardon me, the knees go out to the side, the soles of the feet come together. Push up through the sitting bones, draw up so that you come into that little curl. Maintain that connection. Come back down. Let the arms go out, but you still have that connection, the lumbar's down. Now relax the low back so the knees are still out to the side. If you relax the low back so it's a nice little back bend, and just feel a bit of ease in the body in this exaggerated. So you might even feel the ribs coming up a bit to the sky. Inhale, exhale, smooshing the lumbar down, and then let that bring the knees together and you're standing on the soles of the feet. Relax in a slow motion wave so the lumbar is lifting again. Inhale, exhale, smoosh the lumbar down. Take the knees out, the soles of the feet come together. Relax the lumbar, lift the lumbar up, let the knees just kind of fall out to the side even more. Sometimes that creates a bit more space for that shaping. And then inhale, exhale, smoosh the lumbar down, keep the knees out, but let this ripple up through the spine and bring the head up, the armpits forward and up. Keep that connection and the lumbars down as you slowly lower down. Relax the arms, relax the lower back. And you're just breathing in the pauses. Inhale, exhale, smoosh the lumbar down, bring the knees up towards each other, standing on the feet, and slowly relax the lumbar. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, lumbar goes down. Let the knees go out to the side, soles of the feet together, and then relax the spine. So the lumbar lift here. Inhale, exhale, keep the knees out, but smoosh the lumbar down. Let it ripple up and bring the head up. The elbows come parallel with each other, armpits a bit forward and up. Keep the lumbar down, slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time. Let the elbows go out to the side and then release the low back so it's a lumbar lift again. See if you can relax the thighs. Now if this doesn't work for you, then you're going to have to just put some blocks there or just hold them up and not relax as deeply, because we don't want to go anywhere the body isn't just really happy to go. Inhale, exhale, smoosh the lumbar down. Bring the knees together, standing on the feet. And then just relax into a neutral and release your hands. And just take the feet a little bit wider if that feels more comfortable, pausing like this. At this point, you might have softened up around the femur heads in the sockets, that the feet can be a bit wider than the hips and the knees can collapse into each other. See if that's possible. So just have a moment of breathing like this. Okay, we're going to do something else that incorporates some of those movements again. The hands are going to be at the side and they're going to need to hold the mat, because I find that when we come up, it's like we're going to be coming up into bridge but with the feet in butterfly. So sometimes when that happens, we kind of scooch up overhead. So I hold the mat to keep myself in place a little bit more. All right, so just have your hands at the ready, holding the mat. And let's inhale, make a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, smoosh down the lumbar, tuck the chin, knees out, soles of the feet together. And let's just lift the hips to come up. So what are the muscles that just needed to engage to lift those up? Sometimes you might feel the sides of the legs. Sometimes you might feel a little bit of the glutes. And we can pause and just breathe here. And then inhale, exhale, lower down, but lengthen as you're lowering down. Keep the knees out to the side and then relax into a bit of a back bend. Inhale, exhale, smush down. Take the knees together. Pause. Hold the mat if you've let go, and let's inhale, back bend. Exhale, smush it down, feet together, knees out to the side. Pause with this kind of containment, just the right amount of muscles, and then slowly just feel the downness of the feet as you come up. Now add one more part, just feel the downness of the sides of the feet, and then take the feet and push them a little bit together. Just feel that kind of extra component in this. And then slowly lower down. Keep the knees out to the side, keep the containment, keep the lumbar down, and then release the lumbar. Inhale. Exhale, smush the lumbar down, bring the knees together, and then just pause. Come into a neutral position for the feet. So maybe again, they're wider than the hips now, the knees come together, and just kind of relax and just feel what breathing feels like now. So we're going to lay over onto our right side, and one of the things is that when we're laying on our body on the ground for quite a while, sometimes the body can feel a bit dry or hard because the tissues haven't been able to kind of feel squishy. So you could lay your blanket down and lay on your side like this if you'd like. I'm having this block to come under my head, but I'm also going to use my lower hand here as a bit of a pillow and an anchor, and my head's going to move around, but I'm going to stop it from doing too much moving just because I have to keep talking through my little microphones. So some of the directions I'll give you will be to let your head face down or let your head face back and up, so you can just follow those sort of natural directions that your body will be moving through rather than just what you see with my own head. Okay. So have yourself in a bit of a lightning bolt so that your knees are together. If that doesn't work to have the knees together, they're not going to stay like that for very long, but just even for a pause if you need to put a spacer between them of your hand or a blanket or a block. Okay, so just see that you're in this nice, the thighs are perpendicular out, so they're not too far down and they're not really high up, but they're nice and stable. So taking this position, now let's just bring the left arm straight up overhead with the palm face to the ground, straighten that left leg. And we're going to start by taking the right leg forward, that left leg forward, and this left arm back. Left leg forward, left arm back. But we're taking that left hip forward as well. So we're not letting it go back, we're taking it forward. And we're really leaning through the back of the pelvis on the left. And this bottom right foot can be kind of an anchor. So here my head is going away, turning towards the left. And I'm using some muscle engagement to kind of extra lengthen between these two limbs in opposite directions. Tucking my ribs in just kind of as a natural tuck, especially on the left. And then we'll come around and we'll move into this other direction. So now the leg goes back and the arm goes forward. And as we do that, we don't let that left hip go back, we take it forward. So we're moving the leg back, but we're keeping the hip coming forward and you're leaning through the limbs. Let's go back. Bring the arm forward. One more in that back position. So the arm is back, you're looking back, but this left hip is really trying to move forward. And then one more with the arm forward and leg back, but also the left hip coming forward. Leaning through limbs. And then let's just come back and just relax completely on our side. So let's take this on the other side now. Rolling over to the left. Nice little lightning bolt. So we'll start here by taking the right arm back and the right leg forward. So really feeling it from that hip, feeling the opposite directions as you're twisting the body. Yeah, I mean, this is a twist, but it's kind of active and you've got these engagements of the muscles really moving in the directions on their own, and then come back and go the other way. So the right arm is going forward and the right leg is going back, but this hip is still trying to come forward. So you've got some contrasts here, or contradictions. Taking the arm back, leg forward. Find room for breath, because I'm finding that this is, it's an active place when we do these things, and there's some containment, so sometimes it's harder to breathe. So make sure you do soften something. Switch. Arm goes forward, leg goes back. And last, taking it back again. The arm's back and the leg is forward, the hip is forward. And then one more with the leg back, arm forward. And then come on to the side, just relax the limbs. And then come on to the back. So if you'd like, you can remove the block that you had under your head. Straighten the legs and just lay out and feel what laying out feels like. We'll do a series of leg lifts to finish. So as the legs are just with the feet falling out to the side, we're going to suction the sitting bones up and in to move the lumbar down to the ground. And that will turn the knees to face the sky of both legs, and then we'll just lift one leg though. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this one. We've done it a little bit, we've done it differently in the past, but this we're going to move both legs with the knees facing the ceiling and lift one leg down and back out. Okay, let's just suction in. So you're drawing the legs in, the knees face the ceiling, and the legs come a little closer together. Just lift the right leg. Come down and let them fall out. We're going to stay on this right side, suction up, both knees face the ceiling. Lift the right leg only. Come down and out. Suction up, knees to ceiling, lumbar down, just lift the right leg. Down and out. And just relax very deeply. Now let's do this just on the other side. So let's just suction up, knees face the ceiling, lumbar down, lift the left leg, and down, and relax. Suction up, lumbar down, lift the left leg, down and out. Suction up, lumbar down, knees to ceiling, lift the left leg, down and out. And just pause here and then just feel what you feel for a couple of breaths. You can stay on your back and relax and notice what you notice. Or you can roll over onto your side and finish by sitting. Either way, have the mind and the body infused with kindness or noticing. Namaste.